Session very well designed for those people who are not beginners, of course, intermediate traders and pro traders. That's why we are here to share the market insights. We are here to discuss. We are here to share what is likely to happen on all angles of these markets. Of course, speaking about, let's say, fundamentals, speaking about technicals, and of course, not putting aside sentiments. So I will start with the first side of market analysis. We all know what is going on in the world right now, specifically speaking about all those political issues which are going on here and there. We see a war going on between Iran and Israel, of course, US also inclusive. We are also going to see what is likely to happen specifically on that. Of course, there are people here trading US oil or anything oil, but also there are people here who are trading gold. There are people here who are trading USD. All those are affected by the war which is going on in the Middle East. But apart from that, of course, there are other currencies which are also likely to be affected by external factors. So we are starting with the first side of market analysis. And here we speak about fundamentals, where we are going to look at all social, economic, and the political factors that are likely to affect the markets that you are going to trade today. So if you're a trader, let's go to the calendar and see what is likely to affect the markets, of course, externally. Now, here we speak about fundamentals, social, economic, and the political factors that are likely to affect the markets today. And of course, today, the 4th of March. So let's go to the calendar and see what is likely to affect the markets externally. Of course, from the calendar, today is Wednesday. We can see that later at 4:15 p.m., we have something which is going to affect the US dollar. And of course, this is ADP non-farm employment change. Of course, the impact expected from this is high. And the source of this is the automatic data processing Inc. It measures the estimated change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry and the government. The effect from this, actual greater than forecast, is good for the currency. And of course, this information is always being released monthly, usually on the first Wednesday after the month end. And of course, this is the first Wednesday of this month. And the next release is going to be in April 1st. Okay, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. As you can see, previously it came out as 22K. They're expecting this to rise up to 50K. So if it comes greater than 50K, then that's good for US dollar. But if it comes less than that, then that's bad for US dollar. But remember, from whatever is happening in the Middle East, of course, the US is inclusive. We all know that the US dollar has to be strong. You see, we all know that the US dollar has to be strong. Maybe these informations might affect the markets in very, very few minutes, but later we all know that the USD is strong. Apart from that, in the evening at 6 p.m., we are also going to have the information which is going to affect the US dollar. And of course, this is ISM services PMI. Of course, the source of this is the Institute of Supply Management. It measures the level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers, excluding the manufacturing industry. And of course, the effect from this actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And of course, also this information is always being released monthly on the third business day after the month ends. The next release is going to be on April 3rd. Okay, also on this actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Previously, it came out as 53.8. They're expecting this to drop some points, which they're expecting this to come out as 53.5. But if it comes greater than 53.5, then that's good for the currency. But if it comes less than that, then that's bad for the currency. But later also we are going to experience another information from the calendar, which is going to affect the Canadian dollar. And of course, the Bank of Canada governor will be speaking. You see, we all know that the regulator, the policy maker, are the central bank. So if the governor is speaking, then we are likely maybe to see some volatility from there, you see. So later also from the Bank of Canada, you see, the governor will be speaking. So apart from whatever is happening in the Middle East, these are the informations which are likely to affect the markets externally. We speak about external factors which are affecting these markets. We speak about social, economic, and political factors which are likely to affect the markets that you're going to trade, you as a trader. So specifically from the calendar, this is what we have. But if you scroll a little bit upward here, you can see there is the information which was released 11 hours ago. You see, Trump ordered USDFC to provide insurance and guarantees for all maritime trade. Especially, let us read a little bit about what is happening here. Okay, effective immediately, I have ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, DFC, to provide a very reasonable price, political risk insurance, and guarantees for the financial security of all maritime trade, especially energy traveling through the Gulf. This will be available to all shipping lines. If necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the stairs of that way, as soon as possible, no matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. Okay, so specifically from whatever is happening, I think everyone heard that of course, from Iran, they closed that door, which opens for these ships to export oil and something like that. So from what is happening here, it's like Trump is trying to protect that the energy flow has to continue as usual, of course, in the world. We all experienced the bullish. We experienced the prices of oil going upward, and of course, it was because of the inflation which is being expected. Depending on whatever is happening in the Middle East, it's likely to affect the prices of oil, the prices of gold, the prices of USD, and everything like that. So those are external factors which are, of course, going on right now. The war which is going on, it is not good for the world because everything is likely to, the price of almost everything, they're likely to skyrocket, you see. So that's why I think you can see they're taking these measures in order for them at least to protect whatever is likely to happen. So from external, I'm quite very sure that we are totally okay with it. So we have to go to the charts and see exactly. Let's say for those people trading, let's say oil, those people trading, let's say gold, those people trading, let's say BTC USD, those people trading currencies, what next then? Or what should we expect from this? So I'm quite very sure from this session, I'm going to analyze these stuffs. I'm going to analyze DXY, which measures the strength and weakness of the dollar. I'm going to analyze BTC USD. So for those people who are looking for or are trading crypto so that they can know exactly what is going on. But also I'm going to analyze US oil so that you can see the prices of oil, whether they are likely to continue pushing upward or let's say there will be some relief on the prices. But apart from that, I'm also going to analyze gold because that's the safe haven asset or let's say commodity where everyone was thinking that maybe gold has to skyrocket again, going to hit all-time highs. But from what people are expecting and the reality of what is happening, they are a little bit different. So we are going to see all these technically and see exactly what is likely to happen from there. So you're most welcome to this session. I'm quite very sure that there are a lot that we are going to discuss here. And of course, I think by covering those, everyone who is here will have at least understood exactly what is going on. Okay, from the comment sections, I can see Samuel Injari. Good morning. How do you see EURUSD? Can we analyze? Okay, this is Abrakim. I'm here. Okay, I'm new here. So if you are new, remember this is FX Pesa and FX Pesa Academy, the place where at least you can learn. You see, the place at least where you can get skills. And once you clearly understand on how to deal with these markets, of course, you trade with FX Pesa. Okay, bearish for EURUSD. I'm new boss. How can I get it started? Okay, so apart from that, guys, I want to remind you here at FX Pesa, we have the YouTube channel where we have the YouTube channel where we have different sessions. But apart from that, we have two series. We have the Novice to Pro series where you can at least go there and learn. Starting from A to somewhere, Even if you're a beginner, you can just go there. There are two series. For those people who are Swahili speakers, we also have the Swahili version of I mean, we also have the Swahili version of these market snap, I mean these series, so you can also take advantage of that. So you can just start it from there. I'm quite very sure that you can learn a lot. Okay, so going to the charts, guys, we are going to start with US oil and then we proceed with others. So let me display my charts here and then we start analyzing as follows. Okay, so for anyone looking forward maybe to trade US oil, this is what you have to expect. So let me analyze here. We just share here together and see exactly what is likely to happen. Okay, so generally, starting from this week, we experienced a very huge bullish rally on US oil. You see, the price of US oil came all the way from 63 point something per barrel to almost 70 something, almost 80 something, of course, 87 something dollars per barrel. So now we are going to analyze this in a bigger image and see exactly what is going on, or where the markets are likely to, I mean, the prices are likely to push to, or maybe from where the market is, maybe we can see this market is starting pushing down again, but I don't expect so. So starting from the higher time frames, specifically of course, specifically, sorry, give me a minute. Okay, let's proceed with the session. Of course, starting from the higher time frames, specifically if you really want to know exactly what is going on, we can all agree to each other that starting from 2022, we saw the prices of US oil or oil going down. I think you can see we had a very, very huge bearish rally. Of course, having those swing highs and swing lows as usual in any market, there is a time when the prices go up, there is a time when the prices go down. But the general direction of oil was I mean, it was a bearish market. And of course, not only that, there are different factors which are causing this. We all know that most of the campaigning, I mean, the campaigns that are going on in the world is about going green. You see, people are thinking about, let's say, producing electric cars, making sure that the power comes from, let's say, solar panels, water, and something like that. You see, wind. And of course, this also affects the price of oil. You see, so that's why we saw that the market had that very clean bearish move. But from the tensions that are going on right now in the Middle East, and we all know that Iran produces almost 20% of the world's, the the oil that is present in the world. So almost 20%, the very, very big, big number. You see, very, very big percent from a single country. So that's why when you see something like these wars going on from those countries, expect that the production of oil is going down. And not only that, the supply of this is very low. So if the supply of that is very low, then expect the prices to skyrocket. You see, so that's why that's what is exactly going on right here. So we as traders, we don't just assume that okay, so US oil is going upward, so you just have to take your buy trades on oil anywhere. We don't just do that way. You see, we know exactly the right prices where you're likely to go long and get money, and we know exactly the prices where you are likely maybe to go short and get money. But you don't just conclude and make your financial decisions that because generally the market is going upward, so I'll just buy anywhere. That's what happened for those people who are trading gold. Everyone was talking here, speaking that gold is going upward, so just buy gold. I'm quite very sure if you bought gold anywhere, I think you saw the consequences of that. So that's why you have to know exactly on how to analyze these markets. So if this market continues pushing upward, I think you can see it is approaching the rejection areas where we are likely to see this market at least rejecting. And on the price where the market is currently, if you remember, last year, around June, we also had the same war where Iran was fighting with Israel, you see? And this is the candlestick that we had last time when this war began. So we had that very huge spike of this market heading upward. And of course, the highest price where this, the price of oil reached was about 76 point something. You see, and now on the exactly price, that's where the market is right now. You see, we had a very huge bullish week for this week, of course, for these few days, almost 3 days, but the prices have gone all the way to that area. So from where the market is currently, I don't allow, I don't advise anyone to go long around this area. We are likely to get more of good prices, which can allow someone to go long, you see. But not only that, that's the general information from the higher time frames. But let me mark some zones. Maybe if the war continues and then the sanctions which are here and there continues, then we are likely to see at least this market approaching this zone. So let me mark them in a very easy and a clear way. You see, these zones. Not only there, that bullish rally started from this zone here. You see, so generally we are in a market which is dominated by buyers because the price of oil is going upward. So let me also mark this zone here, because you cannot imagine for the past, let's say like 2 years, the market has been here. You see, the market has been here, and these are the highest prices where the market is currently. You see, so we are likely to see maybe getting a little bit of pushback, you see. But now we have to go and see exactly what is going on here. Now, this is the real meaning of having top-down analysis, see, because if the market exceeds on this area, then the next zone is somewhere here, you see, around 99 plus. And of course, from different analysts, we saw that people are talking and saying that if US oil touches around $100 per barrel, then we are likely to experience a very huge inflation around the world. You see, around the world. So if it ranges between 100 to 120 per barrel, then we are likely to experience a very huge inflation around the world. So I think you can see the way the market is pushing up. But we are traders. You see, we are going to react depending on where the market is currently. You see, we don't buy oil and hold it. You see, we are going to buy or we are going to sell depending on the area where the market is. And of course, depending on whatever is being printed from the charts, and we are likely to take advantage of them. So from the monthly time frame, the market is bullish. As we go to the weekly time frame, I think you can see that very huge rally. always, if there are no any geopolitical informations, or let's say tensions which are likely to affect the markets, we all know that if the market is trending downward, we have to see clear lower lows and lower highs as the characteristics that are building the downtrend. We have to see something like this, clear lower lows and lower highs. But if the market is dominated by buyers, then we have to see clear high highs and high lows. That's the normal market conditions which are always being printed if the market is either dominated by buyers or dominated by sellers. But from what you see here, this is a very huge rally. You see, you cannot imagine this candlestick here is just a 1 week candle. You see, 1 week candle. And it is because of whatever is going on in the Middle East. You see, it is because of whatever is going on in the Middle East. So specifically, I think you can see clearly the market gave us, this was clear high, clear low, and this is clear high high. Of course, from the concepts that everyone understands, that if you see the market pushing upward, there is a time when that market is going to correct it. You see, there is a time when that market is going to correct it. And let's say try to imagine with normal concepts of whatever is moving oil, they're just the concepts of demand and supply. You see, there is a lot of demand on oil. That's why we see the prices of oil going upward. And who created that demand? The country which is producing almost 20% of this oil. Guys, it is in the war. So there is no production there. There is no exportation there. Then there is a lot of demand of that commodity. So that's why we see the prices pushing upward. Though it might reach on the area where we are likely to see a little bit of sell-off, you see? And that's what I'm expecting from this, that, okay, of course, the market has skyrocketed, the prices have went upward, but there is a very big possibility of us experiencing a little bit of pushback. Of course, depending on what we know when we speak about technicals, you see? So from where the market is currently, I think everyone can see clearly all the time. Once the market touches on those areas, we see bearish move. We see a little bit of rejection. I think you can see the market touched again. We saw that rejection. The market touched again. We saw that rejection, and the market is on the same area. So we are likely also to see a little bit of something like that. A little bit of something like that. But remember, from whatever is going on, you won't just sell because the market is on the zone. Guys, you won't just sell because the market is on the zone. Also, the prices of this going upward, it was not because of any technical issue. It was because of external factors, and these are geopolitical issues. So I won't wonder if I see this market pushing to this area. I won't wonder, you see? But generally, from technicals or technical analysis, where the market is currently is on its supply zone. So we are likely to see something like this, you see? But that no, those are general informations. We have to go to the lower time frames and see exactly what is going on here, you see? And see exactly what is going on here. I think you can see the market broke this area. It came to retest and pushed upward. The next zone, which we're expecting that the market can reject, it is on this area. The market passed on that area like nothing is present, and now is somewhere there. So as we go to the daily time frame, of course, this is the bullish market. Expect more bullish characteristics where the market is offering or giving you clear highs and high lows. I think you can see this is high, this is low, this is high, this is high low, this is high, this is high low. Of course, this is also high, this is high low, and this is high. Of course, from what I said, this is not normal market conditions, guys. You see, it is not normal market conditions, because I think you can see under normal market conditions, the market was just giving us or offering us clear highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. But try to imagine just in 3 days, like let's say 3 days to 4 days, I think you can see the market has pushed over like that. See, those are almost 13,000 pips going upward. See, in just almost 4 days. So you as a trader, right now where the market is currently, I cannot advise anyone to buy here. You see, for those people who are going to buy, I cannot advise anyone to buy here. But in reality, this market has a very huge bullish rally. So as we go to the lower time frames, maybe you can scalp this and see exactly what is going on here. So as we go to the daily time frame and focus much on that bullish rally, I think you can see the market is offering us clear highs and lows, highs and lows. And of course, from what I see right now, this market is heading that way. You see, that market is heading up that way because I think you can see the area where we're expecting that this market can reject. I think you can see the market rejected pushing down up to here. You see over 6,000 pips of this market rejecting around that area. And not only there, I think you can see the market has started now another bullish rally, finding the power of breaking this zone, of course, which is the biggest zone around this area. Of course, the biggest supply zone. I think you can see once the market touches on that zone, we always see this market going down. Let me show you. Let me show you in a very easy way. Always the market touches on that zone, we see that bearish move. You see, we see that bearish move. I think you can see once the market touches on that zone, we see a bearish move. Not only that area, but most of the time when the market touches on that zone, we see it moving down. I think you can see it tried to break, but it came back inside and then it was respected again. Not only that day, but also I think you can see clearly how strong that zone is. But from whatever you can see, the market is doing its own stuff, trying to push upward. So let me go to the lower time frame, specifically ending to the 1 hour time frame, and see exactly if that bullish rally has much power, so that you can see exactly what is going on around this zone. So as we go to the 1 hour time frame, at least we'll see more of whatever is happening here. So on 1 hour time frame, I think you can see clearly this is a clear high, low, high, 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 low, high, 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 low. Okay. And this was high, 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 low. So from, of course, the market is on its high. Not a good price, I mean, a place for someone to enter. Maybe if you find that, or if you see that this market gives you a little bit of pushback, think about buying on US oil, on US oil. So that's what I see generally on technical issues or in technical analysis on what is likely to happen on US oil. Of course, guys, we all know that the most traded currency pair, I mean, the most traded currency is USD, or is US dollar, you see. And if the US dollar, then we have to see something which measures the strength and weakness of the dollar, and thus DXY. So we have to go and check what is likely to happen on DXY and see if we can if we can see either the market is likely to give us bullish move or bearish move or something like that. I remember on the beginning of this week, I analyzed the DXY, and this is what we were expecting. See, the market was around this area, and this is what we were expecting. It played out very well. I think you can see this was our prediction on DXY. It played out very, very well. Let me delete each and everything and analyze again today, so that now we can see exactly what is likely to happen on DXY. So starting from the monthly time frame, and of course I'm doing this because of the tensions that are here and there around the world, so that at least you can know exactly what you are dealing with. You see, at least you can know exactly what you are dealing with. Okay, of course, of course, generally, DXY has been consolidating for months now. See, this market has been consolidating for months now. See, and if this market has been consolidating for months now, it does not mean that you won't get buying opportunities or selling opportunities. This consolidation has a very, very big range. You see, it has a very, very big range. I think you can see for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the 11 month, this market has been ranging here, upward, down, upward, down. So currently, of course, from whatever is happening here, we all know that USD is strong, so the market is moving from here, heading that way. Of course, it has not been accidentally, because everything was showing us that USD is strong. USD is gaining power. So that's why DXY was moving from this area. Of course, you can just term this as the support area or demand area, heading to the resistance area or supply area. So generally, this market is just consolidating. So if, let's say, someone asks you that, what do you see about the dollar? You see, the dollar is strong right now because also from DXY, this market has been consolidating for a long time. I think you can see the market is not trending at all. If this market had a bearish move, we could see something like this. Or if this market had a bullish move, we could see something like that. But from whatever is happening here, I think everyone can agree with me that this market is just consolidating. And if this market is just consolidating, you cannot imagine this consolidation has the range of over 5,000 pips. You see, these are over 5,000 pips. So for any, let's say, bearish move or let's say bullish move is like a trend. You see, it's like a trend. And of course, you're going to see that as we start going to the lower time frames, specifically going to the weekly time frame. And of course, you're going to find more of bullish characteristics around this area because this market is just moving from this zone heading upward to that zone. Because of whatever is happening in the Middle East and USA is also involved in that, you see, that's why we had a very huge bullish move that happened within a short period of time. But for a long term, we're expecting that maybe this might reach around this area, maybe on April or let's say May. But it has happened, and this is what is happening here, and we can see that the market touched almost on that area. Guys, remember, we are traders, and if you're a trader, you won't just buy or you won't just sell because a certain thing is bullish or bearish. You're going to buy or you're going to sell depending on the area or on the area where the market is. The market might be bullish, heading upward, and then you buy and you lose money. And the market might be bullish and you sell and you get money. It depends on the area where the market is. So that's why you have to know exactly on how to read these charts. So now, starting from the monthly time frame, I think we are clear that this market is just consolidating. And right now, we're in a bullish consolidation. So we are likely to see more of bullish characteristics around this area. I think you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This market has been ranging, you see, between this level. I think you can see this was the bearish move from here. Sorry. From here, this was bearish, bullish. You see, bearish, bullish. I think you can see exactly what is happening, you see. And this was another bearish. And right now, we have this bullish move. Easy and clear, you see, very easy and clear. So remember, if you are a day trader or let's say someone who is trading, you have to know exactly what is going on right now. I think that's why the market rejected because it touched on this zone. But generally, I think you can see also we had a little bit of this area where we experienced a little bit of rejections around that area. But generally, this market is bullish. So as we go to the daily time frame, we are likely to find more of bullish characteristics, which are clear high highs and high lows. I think you can see clearly how this market is structured. This is high, this is low. Of course, the market failed to break this area, but this is high. And from where the market is currently, we can experience a little bit of selling on on USD, a little bit of selling on USD. And if the war continues, we are likely to see this market touching around that area. But right now, for anyone, let's say, looking to trade today, the market is here. And if the market is here, we have to go and see exactly what is going on around this area. Are there rejection candles? Are there any reversal signs around this area? And if they are present, then we are likely to see a little bit of bearish USD. Not a trend, just few days or let's say few hours or let's say few minutes of a bearish move. You see, remember, if you're a trader, direction is not enough. Direction is not enough. You might clearly have a clear direction of the market, that this market is heading upward, but also you must know how to time. Timing is the must in financial markets. You have to know exactly where am I likely to get a good buying opportunity or where am I likely to get a good selling opportunity. You see? So now from here, I think you can see clearly the market is on its resistance. And why am I speaking about resistance? I think you can see this area. Of course, the final area where the market is likely to reach is on this area, but where the market is currently is on the zone where we like to see something. It's just like this. Let's say, for example, for this market which was heading down, I think you saw this area, it caused buyers to enter. On the same area, on this bullish move, the market rejected a lot. You see, we had that very huge rejection. And on the same area, I think you can see for many days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, this market rejected around this area. So after breaking that area, I think you can see the market is on another zone where we are likely to see that rejection. Of course, the market has already rejected for some pips. These are more than 80, 100 pips of that rejection. So for someone who clearly understand about market structures and of course he or she knows how to read the charts, I think you can see clearly whatever is happening there. So let's go and check exactly what is happening on this bullish rally. As we go to the 4-hour time frame, we are likely to see more stops around that area. I think you can see all these are rejection candles, indicating that for these buyers who are pushing this market upward, then there is a very big possibility of at least having a little bit of this market pulling a little bit down. Let me apply my fib starting from this area up to here. Of course, where the market is heading, at least is heading on around 50 to 60%, at least around this zone. You see, at least around that zone. That's where at least we are likely to see this market retracing to, and then from there, we all know that this market is bullish. Like you see something like that, heading to that area. See? So that's the general direction or the general information. I think you can see clearly, even on 1 hour time frame, for those people who know about, let's say, chart patterns, this is clear left shoulder, this is head, this is light shoulder. The market came and currently heading to this area. So we are likely to see a little bit of selling on USD, and then from there, this market can continue with its bullish rally. So that's what I see generally for anyone trading anything related to USD. This is what measures the strength and weakness of the dollar. Okay, so that's general on what is likely to happen on that. There are my good people here who are trading crypto, specifically BTC USD. So let's go and see exactly what is likely to happen on BTC USD. Of course, last time I analyzed this, the market was here and everyone around the world was just thinking that BTC has to continue pushing down, because from whatever is happening, from the hype which is present in the markets right now, everyone was just saying that sell Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin. But in reality, Bitcoin was on its demand area. So that's why we saw that bullish rally, though heading to around the 60 something, 7 something, you see. And then from there, I think you can see clearly my analysis. Around this area, we expected this market to continue pushing down. Of course, we had a very huge sell-off around this area, but the market has come almost on the same area again. So I'm going to delete this and start analyzing afresh. Starting from the higher time frames, though for anyone trading this, you have to clearly understand that you are trading something which is very volatile. So you must be a pro trader. You must know exactly what you are doing. You see? Okay, you must know exactly what you are doing. So starting from the higher time frames, we all know that Bitcoin has been bearish for almost 6 months now. You see, Bitcoin has been bearish for almost 6 months now. And not only that, of course, that bearish move does not guarantee you that if you just enter and sell, the market will reward you. You have to know exactly how to read these charts. You have to know exactly how to read these markets. You have to know exactly how to analyze these charts. So, of course, generally, this market is bearish. You see, this market is bearish after reaching on the highest, I mean, all-time of BTC, which is around 126,000 per BTC. You see, $126,000 per BTC. Then the market started its bearish rally. Though where the market is approaching, or where the market is almost reaching, the market is reaching on the demand zone. Why am I speaking about demand zone? Guys, you cannot imagine. The market spent a lot of days around this area. Not only days, a lot of months around this area. And then after those months, that's where that's when we experience the bullish rally heading to all-time high on BTC. See? So the market has come back and is almost on the same areas where we saw that bullish rally. I mean, the areas that originated or initiated that bullish rally. You see, I think you can see exactly the areas that I'm marking here. You see the areas that I'm marking here, this area here, this zone here. You see this zone here, this zone here. I think you can see clearly. The market is spent almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months just consolidating around this area, looking for momentum, and then that's when we had that bullish rally. So the market is on the same area. So for anyone thinking about, let's say, selling BTC, you might be right, you see, but sometimes you might be wrong because the market is on the area where we are likely to experience a little bit of BTC gaining some power, a little bit, you see, gaining some power. But generally, we can all agree to each other that BTC USD is bearish because it has been moving down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months in a row, pushing down. So we are likely, as we go to the lower time frame, to find more of bearish characteristics on that. You see, we are likely to find more of bearish characteristics on that. So if you're a trader looking for to trade BTC, let's go and see exactly what is happening here. So that's the real meaning of top-down analysis, starting from the monthly time frame, going to the weekly time frame, and at least now we can start seeing some market structures. For the bearish move, which was pushing down, we saw a little bit of rejection around that area. Not only there, but also this played out as our last high before that sell-off happened. Not only there, but also I can see the zone, this zone here, which is near, at least if this market does its retracement, at least coming back at least to this zone here. You see, at least that zone there. But generally, this market is bearish. And from the area where the market is on this zone here or on this area is the demand zone. Is the demand zone. That's why you can see for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 weeks, this market has failed to continue pushing down because it had that very huge bearish. That's why the market has failed to push down like this. And it's like the market is consolidating around this area, but generally this market is bearish. Now, as you go to the daily time frame, you're likely to see more of market structures. You see, you're likely to see of market structures. For the bearish market, of course, the market structures are clear lower lows and lower highs. And from where the market is currently, I think you can see the market was giving us clear lows, you see, and highs, clear lower lows and lower highs, clear lower lows and lower highs, clear lower lows. And of course, this was lower high, and then the market started something like this. This is the clear consolidating market on BTC USD. Of course, remember, this is something which is very volatile. Its consolidation can just reward you a lot. You see, because let's say you cannot imagine the consolidation between this area and this area is maybe more than, you can find that it's more than 10,000 pips, you see. So this market is just ranging between this level and this level here. And I think everyone who is a good trader knows exactly that where BTC USD is on its supply zone, because I think you can see the market touches on that area. We see that sell-off. Touching on that area, we saw that sell-off. Touching on that area, we saw that sell-off, and it's on the same area where we are likely to see another sell-off. See, I think I'm very clear on that. I think I'm very clear on that. Now remember, if you're a day trader, you have to go and focus much on this area where the market is, or maybe if you're a scalper, you have to go and focus much on that area where the market is. This was the bullish rally, so we are likely to find more of bullish characteristics as we go to the 4-hour time frame. I think you can see clearly this market was offering us clear high highs and high lows. You see clear high highs and high lows. This is high, this is low, this is high, this is high low, and the market is approaching on the same area where we are likely to see another sell-off. So for anyone thinking about trading BTC, thinking about, let's say, trading BTC, we are likely to see Bitcoin USD heading again down. See? heading down again. So that's the general information on what is likely to happen, because you can see the history is showing us the market once touched on that area. We saw that very huge sell-off. It touched on the same area. We saw that huge sell-off. On the same area, we saw that sell-off, and the market is on almost on the same area. So expect the sell-off again on BTC USD. So that's what I see on BTC USD. Gold traders. Gold traders. Here we go. So let's go and see what is likely to happen on gold USD. Let's go and see what is likely to happen on gold USD. Guys, this is the safe haven commodity, or other do term it as an asset. Gold has been bullish for a long time. Gold has been bullish starting from 2023 up to date. This market is just pushing upward, you see, but that does not guarantee you that you have to go and buy anywhere. You see, you have to buy if the market is on the right area where you're likely to profit from it, and you have to sell if the market is on the area where you're likely to profit from it. So specifically, guys, remember, if you're going to trade gold, remember, from whatever is happening right now, just think about short term on trading gold. Think about, let's say, scalping a little bit upward, scalping a little bit down, because in general, if you don't know how to read the charts, it might be a little bit hard for you to trade this, because it is very volatile. You see, there are many things that you can trade in these markets. Of course, you can trade, let's say, currency pairs, you can trade, let's say, commodities, you can trade, let's say, futures, you can trade, let's say, crypto, you can trade, let's say, assets, shares, and everything like that. You see, stocks. But when it comes to gold, most of the people like trading it because it's very volatile. It can give you money, but you must know exactly what you are doing in the markets. So gold has been bullish for a long time. Of course, the market is bullish. I think you can see. And this was the all-time high on gold, which is 5,600 plus per ounce. You see, but generally, the market had a very huge sell-off after touching that price of over 13,000 pips of this market going down within 2 days. You see, I'm quite very sure everywhere we saw that gold has crashed, gold has crashed, gold has crashed, and something like that. But that was just the normal sell-off, you see. But generally, this market is bullish. You see, generally, this market is bullish. You see, so if you're in a bullish market, what should you do, you as a trader? Let's say if you're going to trade gold and you're going to scalp this, you cannot just generalize that this market is bullish, so I'm just going to buy. You're going to trade depending on the area where the market is. So if that market is bullish, you are going to buy. If that market is bearish, you are going to sell. If that market is offering, let's say, it's giving you 50-50 things, then you are just going to stay out of that market. See? Of course, I'm trying to mark some zones. I'm trying to mark some zones. Of course, these zones are going to help me as I go to the lower time frames. And of course, from here, I think you can see that generally gold has been bullish, though everyone was expecting that gold has to push upward because of whatever is happening in the Middle East, that gold has to continue pushing upward, creating all-time highs. I saw people from different sources saying that now it's time for gold to hit $6,000 per ounce, but it was like vice versa. Let me give you a little bit of a story. Here in Africa, there are different people trading, and of course, others are low key and others are outside. Let's say people like us, we are outside doing something like that. But there is a certain artist from Nigeria. It's called Don Jazz. You see, Don Jazz is a trader. You see, and he shared something when everyone was sharing on weekend, that everyone was just waiting for market open so that everyone can just go long on gold. And Don Jazz said that when the market will open, I'll just go short 100 lots on gold. Just go to his page on Instagram, and then you'll find you'll find the comments there. And then I saw one comment. Someone commented there and said that maybe is God speaking to us. You see, because It was just a single person who was thinking in a different way, and everyone was thinking about going long on gold. And when the market opened, it had that very huge bullish gap, and then after that, it sold almost a thousand pips. So it means that for someone who just waited for gold to open, I mean for the market to open, and then after the market opened, and then he just placed his buy trades, for sure that almost everyone lost. You see, almost everyone lost. Maybe for those people who are experienced though, and they know exactly that they have to wait and see other candlesticks and react depending on where the market is, are the ones who saw profits from there. But generally, for those people who are thinking that we are going long after the market opens, almost everyone lost. But for those people, let's say, who know exactly what was going on, they saw exactly that the market has opened with a very huge gap. And then it's likely maybe for this market to give us a little bit of discounted price, and then that's when we buy. Of course, also those who thought that way bought and got money from whatever was going on, because everyone was had that information that after whatever is happening in the Middle East, then gold has to skyrocket. But it was vice versa. And from whatever is happening right now, I'm quite very sure everyone is shocked, because people don't know exactly what God is doing. You see, because this is the safe haven asset or commodity, and it has to be bullish. Now, why is it bearish? So we as technical analysts, or let's say we as traders, we have to know exactly what is going on gold right now. So starting from here, of course, gold is bullish. So as we go to the lower time frame, we are likely to find more of bullish characteristics. So let's go and see exactly what is happening around this area. You see, on a daily time frame, I think everyone can see clearly that this market is bullish, moving from this area. Of course, it headed all the way to this zone where everyone was expecting that. After touching on that zone, then we have to see a little bit of a sell-off, and that's what happened clearly. So our next zone, after that very huge bullish rally, it was on this zone here. So for anyone who knows exactly how to trade in these financial markets, so exactly that this market has touched on a very, very huge zone. Try to imagine this was the spike heading upward that way, but all candlesticks closed around this area. This was the supply zone. That's why everyone sold around this area. Of course, that's the general information on whatever happened on gold, but now we have to go and see exactly what is likely to happen on gold, specifically for these few days, or maybe today, or at least we have to see exactly what is likely to happen on gold. Okay, so from here, I think you can see, let me mark this zone here. Of course, also this is the zone. This one here, this is the zone. Not only there, but also this one here is also a zone. Of course, it was playing out as a resistance, but right now it plays out as support. See, but also this area here is also a zone. That area also is a zone. So generally, this market is bullish. I think you can clearly see whatever is happening. But from what I see, after this bearish move, touching on these areas, then from here, we are likely to see gold gaining power gain. See, I think you can see how good these structures are. But remember, if you're a day trader, you have to know exactly how to trade gold. We are going to focus much on that specific sell-off where the market had that very huge sell-off on this area here. Of course, these are sellers pushing this market down. You see, these are sellers pushing this market down. And of course, if it continues pushing, then I see something here. I see something here. There is a zone here. Of course, minor zone, but there is something here. There is a zone here. But if the market breaks that zone, then we are likely to see gold pushing a little bit upward up to this zone here. This zone here. You see? So as we go to the lower time frames, we just focus much on the area where the market is on this one here. I think you can see this was low, this was high, this was lower low. So currently gold is creating its lower high. So buyers are trying to push this market, heading at least to that zone there. See, heading to at least see that zone there. So as we go to the 1 hour time frame, we are likely to see more of bullish characteristics. And of course, bullish characteristics are here. You see, bullish characteristics are here. This market is giving us clear high, clear low, clear high, clear high low, clear high, it gave us clear low. So this market is giving us something like that. So that's the general information on what is likely to happen on gold USD for these few hours, or let's say few days heading that way. See, so that's generally what is likely to happen. Though in trading, you must have a strategy on how to trade this. You won't just buy on 1 hour time frame on gold. You have to go to the lower time frames. And of course, next time I come here, I'll just share with you a very easy strategy on how you can tackle gold on that. So I hope that we have gained something from this. I hope that we have discussed a lot on this. And I'm quite very sure that you have gained something from this. And guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for choosing FXpressor. So thank you so much for being here. You can just go on Instagram and follow me at Forex Kid. Just write Forex Kid or Kaka Taifa. But this is 2026. And what I can just tell you that you just trade and have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Peace and love.